the reigning and defending absolute champion, the ADCC gold medalist for 2017. It is the King, Gordon Ryan.
Ready? Let's do it.
The final is upon us. Gordon Ryan stands over Craig Jones. Jones has made quick work of the field, and it would be something if he could get past Gordon Ryan.
Yep, same entry he's been using in the earlier matches. Let's see how much mileage he can get out of it this time.
He wasn't able to get that knee line that he wanted.
Good use of base by Craig Jones.
And Jones is really, I mean, he's done more work in the back warming up than he has out here getting to this point. I mean, obviously for his energy level, it's got to be great. Confidence, even bigger. I mean, you need to be perfect if you're going to get past Gordon Ryan, and Craig Jones has been just that.
Yeah, well, it's got to help him that he's so so fresh. You know, he hasn't spent much of his energy throughout the night, and that's definitely going to help. But Gordon, has been relatively quick himself. He did get pushed towards the end of one of his matches, but you know, he hasn't been in wars all night.
Yeah, going into the overtime with Casey, drained a little energy, came in with a bit of a sweat. Definitely more than Craig has spent all night.
In the match with Hellenberg, I mean, regulation and overtime, Gordon was in control from the moment go. He did have a longer match in his first bout with Dan Borovic, I think, going into the 9-minute mark, but
yeah, it's
more just quantity of time worked and not necessarily effort that has really been drawn out of Gordon Ryan. He has been pushed.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, he's been dominating his matches.
Yeah.
So the other guy's been carrying his weight.
He's like squeezing body triangles and going for subs, which can tire you out a little bit, but ultimately you get that reset in between matches. You should be good as far as lactic acid buildup in his muscles and whatnot.
This is a rematch as well. These two met at EBI 11 to kick this year off, and we finished the year with these two back on the mat, and Jones going for it. I mean,
everybody went, ooh. That was a pretty armbar too.
Triangle.
You know, things have a way of playing out in combat sports that everything feels serendipitous, and this is one of those matches. I mean, you're talking about two guys that have had career years. Gordon Ryan captures the ADCC gold, has really broken out here on the EBI stage, and now, you know, Craig Jones, who made a name for himself at EBI 11, had a solid Abu Dhabi as well. You couldn't write a better end, I think, to the year, having these guys meet up in the finals.
Yeah, that's going to be a great match. I mean, they had this match earlier at ADCC, and Ryan ended up coming up on top, but I think Craig is very aware of what Gordon's capable of, and is doing a good job of asserting his game plan.
Of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsor, Studio 540, proud sponsor of the Eddie Bravo Invitational. Visit them, Studio 540.
Enter into your space. Keep doing your thing. You're doing great. Keep playing your space. Elevating now.
Yeah, they're both leg pummeling right now. Both of them are looking for the heel hook. Jockeying for position, trying to get a leg isolated.
Foot inside.
Got a deep grip on the left ankle of Ryan.
Elbow exposure on the top arm.
Jones in on that right leg of Gordon Ryan, really selling out for it, trying to make something happen, but Ryan wise to it, able to get his leg free. Crowd here in Austin appreciative of the action.
So far, it's Craig Jones setting the pace for this match. Gordon's had to defend two legitimate attacks.
This is our final match of 2017. Don't forget, EBI back in action 2018. The featherweights take center stage February 17th, Muscle Farm HQ in beautiful Burbank, California. More info at ebiofficial.com.
5 minutes there. 5 minutes in.
Halfway point here of regulation. Gordon Ryan, the champion, goes flying. Jones wise to it. He stands. We mentioned it was a year ago today that Gio Martinez defeated Eddie Cummings down in Mexico City. Can lightning strike twice? Can we see a Danaher Death Squad member upset 2 years in a row to cap the year off? Like I said, momentum on the side of Craig Jones, but tonight it's hard to say that this hasn't been his destiny to be at this point with this man.
Stay in your space. Drag.
You know, Craig was definitely looking forward to the possibility of a rematch. You know, nobody likes to take a loss. Nobody at this level likes a loss, and you always would like to redeem it. So that gives a little bit of extra gratitude on Craig's part if he can pull it off.
And talk about the rematch factor. I mean, what is it like for both of these guys? Like, obviously, they're familiar with one another, but how much can you take tactically into a rematch when you've spent some time on the mat?
Yeah, with guys this high a level, I think the takeaway is huge because there's only so many things that you feel different from one opponent to the next. You pretty much play your game. I mean, tonight, Craig Jones has just came in and the first two things he wanted to get, he went and got it. You know, with working with Gordon Ryan, short of, you know, losing position and getting caught with the sub at ADCC, you know, just up to that point, he was doing well. So he understands that there's a moment he needs to avoid and then work around that. And I think with that knowledge from the previous match, he's able to get a lot further this time around.
Jones able to get free, disengages. Ryan content to play a bottom game with Jones, which is something that he really hasn't done much of this night. He's been the one that's been in top control and really dictating the pace. He's not necessarily purely defensive by any means, but he's more malleable in his approach here with Jones.
Yeah, Craig had a little wrist lock going there for a second.
It was interesting, a lot of Gordon's opponents tonight, at some point they would actually sit down and try to pull leg locks on, pull him into a leg lock battle, which is interesting. And yeah, this is the first night, the first time where we've really seen Gordon really going for the legs himself too.
Keep to your space. Keep to your space.
Craig's playing the Z guard.
Yes. Your space. Your space.
Looking to, yep, get some elevation and go underneath there. Gordon very savvy, keeping that left leg bent, not allowing any gaps between his thigh and calf.
2:10 left.
Wow, this match has gone fast to me.
Yeah, it's been interesting the whole time.
Yeah, the very respectful audience tonight.
Your space. Your space. Yes.
Just one of those matches where it can change really quickly, really fast, and every second counts.
This match has gone by quickly for you, Scott. It's been an eternity for Craig Jones compared to his other performances here tonight.
Yeah.
Sometimes plan A doesn't work out.
But if we go to overtime here, if this goes another 90 seconds, I mean, that's when cardio really may pay dividends for Craig Jones. But right now, he needs to be defensive.
Kimura. Gordon has a Kimura up top, slipped into it. Oh,
Jones able to get free. Nice bit of action here. Got to thank all of our sponsors once again. Brass Knuckles, the newest to jump aboard the EBI train. Appreciate their support. Visit them. Brass Knuckles, proud sponsor of the Eddie Bravo Invitation. Back to that Z-guard approach for Craig Jones. Less than a minute remains here in regulation.
Yeah, Denny Procopo is calling out the Kimura attempt. Gordon Ryan.
It's like instead of playing head and feet, he's playing arms and feet with the idea that Craig, to avoid the Kimura, might straighten his body out, making it easier to attack the legs.
Craig's back up. Craig's grip.
Your space. Your space.
20 seconds remains in regulation. Gordon Ryan headed into his 4th overtime of his EBI career. All of his overtime matches have ended in submission. We'll see if he can keep that perfect finish rate and record intact. Coin flip. Looks like Gordon Ryan is deferring to Craig Jones. Jones is going to go on offense first, and he elects to take the back of the king. That's something we've seen all night, too. Gordon Ryan, when he is put in overtime, he likes to be on defense first. He likes to have that, I think, bar set so he knows exactly what he needs to do.
Oh, Craig's got the body triangle in. Oh, had to switch it. Still doing a great job of keeping the bottom hook engaged.
Oh, that's out there.
Jones tried to roll through it, but Ryan able to get free. Quick escape there by the champion, Gordon Ryan.
Good time so far for Gordon.
Bottom of the first overtime now. If Gordon Ryan is able to pull off a submission, that's a wrap. He'll be a 4-time EBI champion, successfully defending his absolute crown. Body triangle here for the king.
Yeah, he slips that in automatically, and he gets so much power and control out of it. Especially when you're talking about escape times. It's such a great opening move.
Yeah, it's tough, that those big legs around you like that. Everybody's had a really tough time getting out of his body triangle. Rear naked choke is almost sunk in there under the jaw.
Jones staying composed, able to weather the storm.
Keep working, keep working.
Gary Tonin has made a career of submitting guys in overtime from the back. Gordon Ryan, no stranger to that himself. These Danaher Death Squad guys seem to have a game plan that they put in to play and do so quite perfectly. This, your final of EBI 14. The champion, Gordon the King Ryan, on the back of Craig Jones, TJ DeSantis, Eric Cruz, Scott Ross, on it Academy, Austin, Texas.
Craig's given up a lot of time so far.
Yeah.
Good, good, good.
And Craig does need to be defensive here, because if he gets overzealous and is submitted, it's over. It's a wrap. And better to give up time than a limb.
Exactly.
Or his neck.
Yeah, the trouble here, too, with trying to scramble out and turn is a good chance of getting a rib injury, too, because the body lock is in and you turn one way, your rib cage is facing another. You got to be careful.
Ryan now trying to get that left arm underneath the chin once again.
The short choke.
Now,
Stay super focused.
Craig would well, he wanted to keep his head on the mat and try to turn perpendicular.
Jones now trying to reach up and grab the head of Ryan. Is that to break the posture?
It's just to keep him from sinking any choking arms in. Helps to prevent the penetration of the arm under the throat. It's been working for several competitors, actually, throughout the night.
Let's block to the left and block the full with the left leg.
Oh, triangle's open.
Oh, armbar
there.
We'll see if he can.
Oh, it looks like he's almost out.
Oh, beautifully.
That's out.
Yep,
Now he's free.
out. Yep. Wow.
Nice adjustment for Gordon Ryan to hold on to it for a little while longer, but Jones able to get free, and because of that, we are headed to the top of the second overtime. Jones stays on his approach of taking the back of Ryan.
Yeah, he told me this morning, I was talking to him before the tournament started, and he said he'll only take the back because some people let you break their arm so they can escape.
I remember Kyle Griffin.
Oh, he pulled it back in. Yes.
Armbar. Gordon Ryan in trouble.
He's got it.
Craig Jones trying to make something happen. The King, Gordon Ryan,
He's got
in
it tight.
deep,
Yeah, Gordon is
deep
not tapping.
trouble.
Gordon will not tap. He's corkscrewing and he's out.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. And that's exactly what he said would happen.
But the question is
damage?
Gordon Ryan hurt?
Yeah, how much damage did that arm take?
Yeah, he took some damage.
And given that, if he makes it to a third overtime, will he start in spiderweb now and try to capitalize on that? We'll see.
That right there, though, ladies and gentlemen, is what champions are made of.
And the crowd goes wild.
As they should. What drama we have here in Austin.
No, he's got to split the room in half. Left side, right side.
Bottom of the second overtime. Gordon Ryan just went through literal hell with his arm. We talk about the injury. Can he maintain control? Is that arm damaged enough to where he won't enjoy the same sort of strength that he had in the bottom of the first overtime?
Yeah, Craig Jones went through about 3 different variations on trying to finish that arm. I mean, had it fully locked out, I'm sure there was at least a pop or 2, maybe 3, but Gordon Ryan knows, hey, that's just one arm. I got another arm, 2 legs, and my neck. I'm still here.
And he's got a significant lead in terms of escape time.
I mean, really, for Craig Jones, it's all going to come down to that third overtime if he gets there. But still, Gordon Ryan, very dangerous.
Wrist lock.
You know, I'm trying to look at the face here of Gordon Ryan, too, to see where he's at mentally, and he's ice cold. He looks just like he normally does.
It would be interesting if Craig could pull a submission from this position.
Of course, that would be an escape, though.
Yeah. But taking advantage of the already damaged arm.
When you talk about that time, if Gordon Ryan is injured, maybe he doesn't sell out for a submission. Maybe he just holds on as long as he can and win that way.
Yeah, that could be an option. You know, it's actually a lot more conservative. It's easier to just hold somebody than to try to finish them.
I mean, we talk about the game plan and strategy of the Danaher Death Squad. Game plans and strategy is great, but what champions are made of is adjusting.
Craig's having fun the whole time. He's laughing. Ooh,
oh, Ryan in on that choke.
Yeah, that's deep. Yep.
There it is! Gordon Ryan remains the absolute champion. Unbelievable. Gordon Ryan getting it done. Submission and overtime, that record intact, and he remains the absolute king. Let's make it official. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner via submission in overtime. And still absolute champion, he is Gordon, the King Ryan.